Welcome to our annual speed test comparison. The best of Samsung has arrived, and that is the Galaxy S25 Ultra taking on the best of Apple, which is the iPhone 16 Pro Max. Fate has brought us here once again. We're going to be testing out everything in terms of the performance between these two phones. Brand new, fresh off the oven, Snapdragon 8 Elite takes on the Apple A18 Pro chip. As always, we're going to kick things off by firing off the engines at the same time, and by that I mean booting up at the same time. Let's go in 3, 2, 1, boom. Galaxy S25 Ultra on the left, iPhone 16 Pro Max on the right. Let's see who's faster. One US 7.0 Android 15 versus iOS 18.2.1, I believe that's the latest version. So let's see. Okay, Galaxy S25 Ultra faster there by good number of seconds. iPhone is still taking some time, and now it is done. Nice quick early lead by the Galaxy S25 Ultra. Oh, by the way, you guys keep asking for it. You got it. The exclusive Galaxy S25 series pre-order gift links are finally live. So if you're thinking of pre-order, you can definitely get some massive benefits using the links in the description. All right, with that being out of the way, man oh man, 2025, both phones are looking incredibly beautiful. Just check out those bezels. Of course, Galaxy S25 Ultra is definitely a little bit more cleaner thanks to the minimal punch hole, but let's first fire up the Geekbench 5 benchmark on both phones just to see the CPU scores, because this is Snapdragon 8 Elite and is said to be decisively faster than the Apple A18 Pro on the iPhone 16 Pro Max. I already ran the benchmark today, so we're gonna look at the scores. You can see that Apple still has slight lead when it comes to the single core performance, whereas Samsung is way ahead when it comes to multi-core performance. So yeah, you can take this kind of a tie, but the big difference is with the GPU performance, which is said to be miles better on the S25 Ultra compared to the 16 Pro Max. And that is something I'm gonna test out before we get into the apps opening section. So for that, we have 3D Mark on both phones. We're gonna jump straight into the wildlife extreme stress test on both phones, and let's see the result. So we are done, and it seems like Galaxy S25 Ultra is in its own league. However, I do feel like 3D Mark is not optimized for the 16 Pro Max. There's just a massive difference in stability, FPS, and overall performance with the 3D Mark. So I believe it's not properly optimized on the iPhone, but just for reference, this is the difference we have with the wildlife stress test using 3D Mark. Now, enough about the numbers. Let's see the actual real-life performance between these two phones. And as always, we're gonna begin with some of the basic apps to start this test off. Starting with Phone Dialer in 3, 2, 1, boom. That is buttery smooth on both phones. This is supposed to be the best animation Samsung has ever produced on their flagship phone, and I can already feel it after using this for like 24 hours since the launch day. So yeah, it's looking really good just with the first app. Settings, again, very, very smooth on both phones. Let's exit at the same time. Now let's quickly jump into some third-party applications, starting with Quora on both phones. 3, 2, 1, go. That is definitely faster on the Galaxy S25 Ultra. Let's check out the scrolling performance. Looking very good. Very good indeed. Yes, normally we see some difference, but yes, good start with the first app right from the get-go. Let's exit at the same time. Moving on, we have Spotify. That was really quick. I feel like Galaxy S25 Ultra was a little bit faster there. Let's scroll, and still looking pretty smooth on both phones. Exiting at the same time, jumping into the next app, which is going to be Reddit. So that felt faster overall on the iPhone 16 Pro Max, loading up the feed quicker. But if we scroll around, so Reddit definitely feels a little less smooth than the first two apps. Well, in the beginning, but I think now once everything is loaded, it's looking really good. Next, we're jumping into YouTube. Definitely quicker on the Galaxy S25 Ultra. Different feed. Once again, scrolling looks very smooth on both phones. Talk. That was really quick on the S25 Ultra, so iPhone took just a little bit of a time to load up its latest feed. Let's check out the TikTok camera app opening speed on both phones. So 3, 2, 1, go. So definitely faster on the Galaxy S25 Ultra. Again, very minimal difference there. Both were really, really quick. Well, moving on to Instagram on both phones. That felt pretty neck and neck on both devices. Again, both have different feed going on, but real good performance. Let's do the first scroll. That is very smooth. iPhone has loaded up more content on the home screen. Samsung took a minute there, or a few seconds, but yeah, looking pretty good overall on both phones. Checking out my profile in 3, 2, 1, boom. That is, again, about the same on both devices. Let's check out this post. Different animation, but still really smooth on both of these two phones. Let's check out the Insta camera app opening speed. So here we go. Okay. This is definitely faster on the iPhone 16 Pro Max. TikTok was quicker on the S25 Ultra, but this seems to be a little bit faster on the iPhone 16 Pro Max. I gotta say, animations are looking absolutely locked in, just like iOS on the One UI 7.0. It's really, really smooth experience. Next up, we have some games, starting with Subway Surfers on both phones. And seems like Galaxy S25 Ultra, yeah, it is done. That was very, very quick. That was the first launch, by the way, on both phones. So definitely quicker performance on the S25 Ultra. Moving on, we have Asphalt 9. Again, one of my favorite games to test out on these phones, as always. Let's see, the S25 Ultra takes the lead here. No, okay, iPhone a little bit quicker there. Let's go ahead and check out the in-app game loading time. So we'll be loading up the similar stage on both devices. Going to play this in 3, 2, 1, boom. So let's see. All right, iPhone 16 Pro Max once again quicker there compared to the Galaxy S25 Ultra. But I have to say, this game looks absolutely gorgeous on both phones. However, I do like the more of a cleaner punch hole look on the S25 Ultra. Let's do this drift. But yeah, this is running at an absolute high level on both phones. In game performance looking really, really good and really, really smooth. On the list, we have PUBG Mobile. Again, one of my favorite games to test out in these speed test battles. So let's see. Seems like the iPhone is a little bit quicker there, but they finished off about the same time on both phones. So looking good. Let's check out the in-game performance on both phones. So we're just gonna start off a quick guest stage. So we have loaded up a stage on both phones, and you can see it is looking absolutely beautifully smooth on both phones. This is running as good as it can run on a flagship phone. Yeah, look at those reflections. Really high quality performance. We're gonna jump. All right, we are on the ground, and let's check out the performance first up on the Galaxy S25 Ultra. Once again, looking just amazing. Okay, I don't want to die, so let's just run away on the iPhone. I mean, these two chips are just too good for PUBG. Let's be real. Can't really go wrong with either one of these phones when it comes to gaming is concerned. All right, exiting PUBG on both phones. And now let's launch camera and see which one processes the high megapixel photos faster. So launching the camera in 3, 2, 1, boom. That is definitely faster on the Galaxy S25 Ultra. Now what we're gonna do is switch to 50 megapixel on the Galaxy S25 Ultra and 48 on the iPhone. I've already selected the... We're gonna start this with the ultra wide angle lens in the high res mode. So here we go in 3, 2, 1, boom. Let's see which one is faster. Okay, iPhone is done, and Samsung still had to process this image in the background for that optimization. So let's see what happens with the main lens. So going in 3, 2, 1, boom. And okay, this was much faster compared to the ultra-wide-angle lens performance. Now let's see what happens when we compare the 200 megapixel mode compared to the 48 megapixel on the iPhone. So here we go in 3, 2, 1, boom. So this one is obviously going to take a longer time to process, but still not bad actually. Didn't take that much long. It seems like the image processing performance has definitely been improved on the Galaxy S25 Ultra, which is something that is much appreciated. Now let's go ahead and do some video rendering in the Adobe Rush application. So launching this at the same time on both phones. We've just loaded up a similar 4K 60 FPS clip on both of these two phones. You can see the timeline scrolling is really smooth on both devices, no difference there. What we're gonna do is just apply some effects, and that's it. Let's just render this out at 1080p because I don't have the premium version. So here we go in 3, 2, 1, boom. Let's see how the rendering speeds have improved or not on the Snapdragon 8 Elite. So okay, looks like it is improved, but still not on the level of the rendering optimization we have with the iPhone 16 Pro Max. I have to say, big difference compared to previous generations. You can see the gap has definitely been closed. Okay, so the iPhone is about to complete its rendering, almost done, 99%, while Galaxy S25 Ultra not that far behind in the 60s. S25 Ultra still on the 65% mark, so still much faster rendering on the iPhone 16 Pro Max. And now we are done on the S25 Ultra as well. Now last but not the least, we have quick browsing war between these two phones. First up, we have phonearena.com on both devices. Let's see, Galaxy S25 Ultra definitely quicker there. We're gonna scroll. Again, very smooth on both phones. Next up, we have sammobile.com. That is, I believe, once again faster on the S25 Ultra. Just a little bit of a difference there. If we scroll around, again, very smooth. That's a clean sweep browser win for the S25 Ultra, but again, very close. Time to exit and check out RAM management on both of these two devices. We opened a lot of applications, but check out this smoothness. I love the new animation on the One UI 7.0. But let's see if all these apps are in the memory or not. 12 gigs of RAM on the S25 Ultra versus, I believe, 8 gigs of RAM on the iPhone 16 Pro Max. Let's jump with phone dialer. Here we go. It's still there in the memory. Settings, still there. Quora, Spotify. So far, RAM management is looking absolutely perfect on both phones. So Reddit, still there. YouTube. Okay, we have our first refresh on both devices, which is quite interesting. Let's see if we get more of these or not. TikTok. Now that is, okay, I think that was a small refresh on the iPhone, but Samsung really kept it on the same place where we left it. So we're gonna give this win to the S25 Ultra. Let's see. Instagram, that is still there on both phones, just an app refresh, feed refresh there. Subway Surfers, that got completely refreshed on the iPhone. So there we go, 12 gigs of RAM is definitely showing off its muscles. We're gonna jump into Asphalt 9. This is an in-app refresh on both devices, as we know. PUBG Mobile, that is still there on both phones, absolutely brilliant. And we're back to the camera app, so literally on the same position as we left on the S25 Ultra. However, the iPhone went to the camera UI. Adobe Rush, still there. And we are finally back to the browsers. And that, okay, that's still there, just a quick refresh. Nothing to worry about. But overall, I have to say, RAM management goes to the Galaxy S25 Ultra. So there we go. That was a full speed test comparison between the S25 Ultra versus the iPhone 16 Pro Max. Look, both phones are absolutely monster when it comes to the performance. You can't really go wrong with either of these phones. And they are a great investment as well because both phones will get a long software support of up to 6-7 years. So you've got quite a bit of a longevity going on as well, and the hardware will deliver. But it's always nice to see the real life performance and see where the strengths are in terms of the latest innovations. And definitely Snapdragon 8 Elite has shown off its muscles when it comes to multi-core score as well as the graphical performance and the RAM management, thanks to having more physical memory as we open a lot of applications, did some heavy tasks, and even did some high megapixel image capture. So a lot of that affected the iPhone and refreshed 2 or 3 apps, but still, it's still pretty impressive for just having 8 gigs of RAM going up against 12 on the Galaxy S25 Ultra. But there we go. That was the full test. Again, if you guys are interested in getting the S25 series, I highly recommend checking out the special links in the description.